Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's start with Carly and Diane. So, Carly's plan is to use Sasha's pregnancy to get Gladys to change her story. Because once Gladys finds out that Brando is the father, and she finds out that Brando's going to be in danger if Cyrus finds out, she's hoping that Gladys will act like a mother and do the right thing as opposed of screwing over Brando. And she's betting on the fact that she'll be a mother first and the greedy opportunist second. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know about that. I don't know, maybe the whole dying thing may actually wake her up. I don't know. I mean, she seemed like she had no problem with the fact that when Brando told her that Cyrus was blackmailing him because of the information that Gladys told him, she didn't seem like she was phased at all. She didn't say she was sorry. She didn't really say anything, actually. So, the chances of her actually being a decent human being, I don't know. But, you know what, it's a good plan. And, with that being said, Diane leaves. And Carly calls on Gladys, like, listen, you need to come over here. We need to sit there and talk. So, that should be interesting. Let's talk about Michael for a minute. Michael and Willow. Here's the thing about Michael, and I've been saying this for a good minute now. I feel like Chad Duell can sometimes be wasted in this show when he's not given really good story. Because, to be honest, I can't think of one thing that him and Willow did as far as moving the story, moving their stories, contributing to anything in this episode. Yeah, they talked about Chase. They talked to the Quartermains for a little bit, and then they went to the hospital to check on Chase. I mean, I'm going to be honest. You could have took them out this episode, and it would have ran exactly the same. Olivia screams because, well, Valentine is walking around damn near naked, and apparently he doesn't like to knock. He just starts walking indoors. And he walked in Olivia's door. Olivia screams. She comes down and she's like all hysterical. And, I needed to load my volume because I was like, how much coffee did this woman have? Listen, I get it. Valentine kind of saw a peek of stuff that he might not have, he probably shouldn't have seen. Listen, we're all adults, okay? It's not like this is the first time that Valentine hasn't seen a naked woman, okay? You just bring it down just a notch. So after she finished, yelling and screaming and all this other stuff, Anna and Robert come over to talk to Monica. And, yeah, because, the passing of that guy that I don't remember, but they come over there to talk to Monica because they're going to be planning a memorial service. Valentine's going to be the go-between because, Anna's not going to be there. Just sit there and try to coax out, more of the antidote from Peter. So Valentine's going to be doing that. And, in this scene, it seems as though Ned and Olivia are trying to work their way back to each other. Olivia sits there and talks about, she living in the guest room because she doesn't like being in the room, being in her or their room without, Ned being there. So it seems like she does actually care, enough to sit there and try to, work out her relationship with, it seems like she's starting to care as far as trying to work out her relationship with Ned. Which is a far cry from the last scene that I saw when she was talking to Robert, and she practically sounded like she was already checking out of her marriage because when she was sitting there talking to Robert, she was like, for the first time in a long time, she felt, like she was having a good time. She didn't have to be a mom. She didn't have to be a wife. She just enjoyed the adventure of just being with him and just kind of doing whatever. So that scene made me think that she was like practically just checked out of her marriage. But it seems like they're slowly working their way back. So I guess time will tell. Of course, Ned still gave Robert the stink eye when Robert was sitting there talking to Olivia. Now, of course, he was like, oh, well, Monica wants to see you. You know the way, to her quarters or whatever. But just his tone was just like, alright, bro, you do realize, like, somebody close to him, like, passed away. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just kind of just read too much into the situation, but I felt like there was a tone. What else we got? Now, this was another scene. This was another scene that was like, I guess it was kind of nice, but it didn't really go too much of anywhere. Not really. And that's the Maxi and Peter stuff. Pretty much Maxi is talking about how she wants to go away for a spa day, because of someone that close passed away, and she kind of want to just kind of distress a little bit before the baby comes. So Peter's like, that's a good idea. I just want you to sit there and take Chloe with you. Maxi fights Peter on that for a little bit, gets a call from Britt, and then after that, Maxi's like, yeah, you know what? Chloe can come with me. So that whole scene almost seemed like it was entirely pointless because you decided it was a good idea for, Chloe to come with you anyway. Which is also kind of weird. It's not so much that it was kind of weird, it's just like it was so fast and so jarring that Peter just had to look like, wait, you really? Like you're totally cool with Chloe going with you? Because for a good 2 minutes you seemed like you were adamantly against it, and you just did a 180 that fast. Okay, there's nothing like odd about that between that and the conversation that you had. That totally seems reasonable. Maxi's plan is to give this nurse such a fantastic like spa day that she's going to be so relaxed, and she's not going to be sitting there thinking about Maxi, doing whatever she's doing without Chloe, being the wiser. And I'm sitting there thinking, if that plan does work, who the next body is going to be in that dumpster? Chloe, or whatever her name is, or Nurse Jennings, I don't even remember, but she's going to be the next body in that dumpster. That's just going to be a thing. And of course, Brooklyn makes similar plans as far as trying to go out of town, making plans with her friends to sit there and say, hey, listen, if my family calls, I'm such and such a place. So her plan is set, I guess. Actually, to tell you the truth, how is she going to sit there and get away from Valentine? That's another thing. So she made these plans, but she still has to sit there and ditch Valentine. So that should be interesting. Now, the Jason and Britt scenes were pretty interesting because, well, it seems like they're getting closer. And see, here's the thing. I'm not really for the whole couplings and, they look cute or they're good together, whatever. But what I am here for is to see the look on Sam's face when they start to really get close. That's what I'm looking for. That's going to be an event for me because, again, I am not a fan of the way that Sam broke up with Jason. Just kind of last minute, like, ultimatums, this or else. Like, even Jason was like, you've been feeling this way for a while. Why didn't you say anything then? And Sam was like, would it have mattered? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you didn't really sit there and give it a chance, so whatever. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I am looking for when Sam gets jealous. That's going to be a great day. Now, Jason wants Britt to go to a hospital to, check out, like, her hand and the tremors and stuff. And Britt doesn't want to go up, because she's afraid. She's afraid to sniff their face and stuff, and Jason offers to go with her. And you also get more closer as far as Jason trusting Britt, as far as, when Britt made the phone call to Maxie to sit there and just to check on her and see how she's doing, Jason was like, listen, do what you want to do, like, I'll trust you, and it is what it is. So, the smile on her face, the way she kept staring at him, I mean, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. The fans want it, and it's going to happen, and, I'm all for it, because it it makes Sam jealous, and I'm all happy about that. Because if anyone hasn't guessed right now, I could be a very petty person. And also, I'm going to be honest, Sam is a character that I can like for a little bit, and then she does something really stupid or just really, like, that annoys me. Like the way she was there coming at Brando. So, like, my feelings for her just kind of go up and down, and it's just... But on the bright side, the one good thing that I did notice about Kelly Monaco is that she can play Sam. And having somebody else play Sam is just going to come across as just awkward and unwanted. And we all know what I'm talking about. So, I give her props for that. Now, let's talk about the Sonny and Nina scene. So, they go to this strip mall, or this place. And they're talking to this local. And what's really kind of odd about it is, like, the way I looked at it was like, so pretty much they walked up to this local, and like, Nina and Sonny is practically asking, like, so what happened to this town, and why does it suck for it? Nina was like, oh, I saw on the internet, everything looked very cute, and, like, very wholesome, and it's just kind of, like, barren, and it's like, so you pretty much just walk through a town and just practically ask, like, why does it suck for it? And, of course, she gives the explanation that, the crime in the city started to rise, a lot of the business owners sold, and most of them couldn't keep up with, the new mall, and their prices and stuff like that. And so, Elijah's plan, which I don't understand why they need to spell it out again, was the fact that, Elijah, comes to town, he drives the property value down, by the uptake in crime. And then these business owners are so desperate to sell that they sell to Elijah, and Elijah makes a profit off of selling to another person, or taking these lots or whatever, and selling to the highest bidders. This way he can get a cut. So that's pretty much his plan. And at first, which is kind of weird, because at first Nina was like, I'm going to do a story on him, exposing him for what he's doing to these towns and just how much of a bad person he is. But we need more proof. So, at some point, Sonny winds up seeing the guy that tried to rob the town the last time. And we see in the previews that, Sonny is sitting there interrogating this guy. And I'm sitting there thinking, what would help with that interrogation? A gun. You know who doesn't have a gun? Sonny. You know who probably does have a gun? That guy. Yeah. I wonder how that scene's going to go over tomorrow. And the scene was okay, but I felt like maybe for me, it didn't advance it enough. Like, okay, so they know Elijah's plan. They need to dig more. Alright, cool. So, like, that's it. Like, that's it. That's okay. All right. I guess that's the extent of their scenes. All right. Yeah, Sonny seems so determined to sit there and take down this Elijah guy, but he seems like he does not give a damn about trying to find out who he is. But Phyllis doesn't really seem like she cares that much to find out who Sonny is either, because well, he's free labor, so whatever. And I think the last scene is Finn and Chase. Chase wants to leave. He is tired. He is tired of not knowing what's going on. He's tired of... He feels that Finn is giving him the runaround. He's not really sitting there telling him what's going on. And Finn is like, you need to stay here because, if you go outside, if you go out of this place, your temperature spikes, something happens, we may not be able to get to you in time. They're arguing back and forth. At some point, Finn gets so frustrated that he's like, it's my fault. He starts yelling out like, this is all my fault. I'm like, you're kind of giving it away. You're supposed to kind of keep this thing a secret, but this secret is starting to kind of run a little thin. But anyway, they argue, and at this point, when we see in the next previews, it looks like Chase is about to just walk right out of there. Now, of course, you got Michael and you got Willow, like, standing outside, so that they're seeing what's going on. And that's pretty much all it goes. Like, it seems like Finn is getting so emotional that he's just, eventually, he's going to wind up slipping if he's not too careful. But, of course, he's probably not going to be, because even if he does, or even if he attempts to, I'm pretty sure another character is going to come in there and stop him. So, there's that. I think that's about it. I honestly think that's about it. This episode was okay. I felt like yesterday's episode was a little bit more better. Just because of Gladys. Gladys is such an idiot. Gladys is such an idiot that it's like every time I sit there and watch her, and watch how she talks to like Cyrus and stuff like that, it's so hilarious because, yeah, I do get kind of annoyed with Gladys, like especially the fact that she's using a young boy that died, as leverage over Carly. Like Carly, her family tried to do something good for this guy, for this kid, and he wound up passing away. And the only thing that Gladys can do is just say, oh, well, you're just glad that I didn't sit there and tell your secrets about that Turkish kid that, that came to the country illegally. Is this chick heart made of stone or something? But I kind of gotta laugh at this stuff because it's like, I just don't normally come across people like that. And it's just kind of funny, especially when she's with Cyrus, because it's like, Cyrus, at some point, when are you just ready to put a bullet in this woman's head and just kind of just move on? Like, at some point, she's gonna just, not being any use to you anymore. So, when is that bullet coming? Because that should be interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else. And to be honest, this is my second take because I just didn't like... I just didn't like how the first video came out. And I don't like to just throw out anything, just throw any sort of poo. Because, I always feel that the people that watch my videos deserve better than just me just throwing anything out. And yes, with that being said, I'm going to go. I think that's about it. If I missed anything, please write down in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode, and what was your favorite part, or your least favorite part, and, like, did anyone really care that Michael and Willow was in this scene? I get that it's a running joke, and I don't like to be negative, but I can't think of one thing that Michael and Willow did that was of any importance. I feel like Chad Duo sometimes is so wasted on this show, because he could be doing so much more when they actually give him good material, but that's just my opinion. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I'll catch you in the next video.